What's up, everyone, and welcome to a show match sponsored by RnG Pro. In the top left corner, as the blue Terran, it's Drunkenboi. And in the bottom right, as our red Protoss, it's RnG Pro's very own Pattymac. It's gonna be very hype Protoss versus Terran match. Drunkenboi is an older name. Pattymac is a young up-and-comer in the RnG Pro team. You guys are coming from the Risen Star League round of 16 group discussion. Welcome to you guys. It was great talking to Eternal, Revolt, and the Kyojin, your elected MVP, about those predictions, but I'm excited. I'm ready for some great games between these two high-level players. Our two scouts will skirmish in the middle of the map. Pattymac will get his full scout of the Terran base and presumably move to block the second CC, try and get a delay on it. Drunkenboi is going to get his own scout off, as well as an attempted delay on the second Nexus, which will be successful. He's building up his engineering bay. Nightbot, you're drunk. Go home, Nightbot. No bracket tonight. Just a simple show match between two great players. Drunkenboi isn't going to mess around with any blockage on his CC, but this still is a little bit of a delay because obviously, you know, Drunkenboi's building it on the high ground, so he has to float it out to the low ground. Which is going to delay it by a couple seconds from producing a SCV or morphing into an orbital. Pattymac is going into double adept, so this was probably a wise decision from Drunkenboi to build the CC on the high ground so the adepts can't snipe the SCV. Factory coming up behind this. It could be Widow Mines, it could still be a Hellion drop. Marines are being double pumped from Drunkenboi. Drunkenboi finishes up his factory. It's gonna morph in his orbital on the high ground. There's a full wall off here to defend against the adept. No SCVs will die today. And it is going to be Widow Mine production here from Drunkenboi. So he's probably going to go for a 3 Widow Mine drop, Tech Lab on the factory, more Marines coming out for him. Pattymac takes out the first Widow Mine, so probably no longer going to be a 3 Widow Mine drop. Yeah, actually, Drunkenboi's just going for a siege tank. He's assuming some Protoss aggression is heading his way, and I think Pattymac has a sentry out. He's going for an observer. He's going for a couple extra gateways and a robotics bay. Viking is out on the field. Drunkenboi's getting another tech lab, this time on the starport. Warp Prism's coming out for Pattymac. Could this be a disruptor drop? Both these guys are doing a little bit interesting builds, so it's going to be a Raven from Drunkenboi. This could be a Marine tank push. He's going for a third base. It still could be a Marine tank push, but more likely he's going to continue his defensive posture here. Pattymac Has his Warp Prism finished up? Okay, he's going for Warp Prism speed as well. And it is going to be a Disruptor drop out of Pattymac. This is very high risk, very high reward. Drunkenboi does have Marines out. He does have a Viking patrolling in the air. So Pattymac is going to have to be very careful about the angle he engages in and how quickly he picks up and moves out. A Raven can, of course, get a Disable off on a Warp Prism, and that means it can't pick up units. So we could see like a Disable on the Warp Prism, and that'll strand the Disruptor. Pattymac also gets up a third base. Forge on the way as well. Warp Prism speed is about to finish. And here zooms the Warp Prism. Viking is patrolling around Drunkenboi's main. A huge siege tank shot goes off in the Disruptor. A second one goes off as well. Only 2 SCVs went down from the shot. And that's definitely not a good trade here for Pattymac. Drunkenboi's third orbital has finished. He's going to move that out to location. He's going for a Marauder-heavy bio composition. He is still maintaining his defensive posture here. He's going to move out and secure this third location. Pattymac has scouts split all over the map. I think Drunkenboi might want to do the same pretty soon. Split out Marines to see if there's any. No, he's going to move out, actually. He's going on the attack. He's pulled the boys for the dual purpose of repair and meat shield. But Pattymac is hitting with a Disruptor drop. No connection with the first shot, but it did delay this attack by, 3-4 seconds, which is going to help Pattymac get more defenses up. Charge is only halfway done. Extended Thermal Lance only 2/3 of the way done. +1 not a factor in this fight either. The Colossus gets disabled. And Pattymac can't engage down here at the third. Drunkenboi is going to move in. Both pylons get picked off, as well as 9 probes. Pattymac is going to struggle to defend this. Third Nexus is picked off. Drunkenboi is on an inarguably superior economy against the Protoss. Pattymac is getting a Templar Archive finished up. I'm sure he's going to Research Storm quite soon. Charge and +1 are hitting for the Protoss, but he's down in army supply. Pattymac takes a third base at this new location. It's kind of a ninja base, actually. He's not taking it out here. He's not retaking this location. He's taking it 2 base locations away, in hopes that Drunkenboi doesn't scout it. If it is scouted, it's going to be difficult for Pattymac to respond effectively. Oh no! Pattymac's probes get caught out. Drunkenboi stims to win and takes out 8 probes. He's going to let 1 escape. And this should signal to Drunkenboi as well that there's a base hidden up here. In fact, it does. Drunkenboi loads up into the medevacs. He's going to save his army, but now he can threaten the natural and this third base of Pattymac. But in the meantime, Pattymac knows that most of Drunkenboi's bio is in those medevacs, so he's going to take the advantage, move in on the tanks. Now, Drunkenboi did build 3 bunkers here, so that's going to help secure this location a little bit, but Drunkenboi doesn't really care. This is buying time for him to take down this third base. Half the shields are gone. Pattymac is rushing to defend. He's going to recall, but it's only 2 stalkers. However, the bluff has worked. Drunkenboi is going to go into the natural now. Pattymac has preempted this. He's warping in a couple stalkers, but he needs to move to defend and do it quickly. Luckily for him, there's not the most bio left. Drunkenboi drops a single Marine off to save the medevacs. In the meantime, we've been watching all this action, but in the background, Drunkenboi has continued to pump out military forces. He has +1 armor and weapons on the field, so he's going to be a little bit ahead of Pattymac here until Pattymac's +2 finishes in about 25 seconds or so. I think it's closer to 30, actually. So the power curve is currently in Drunkenboi's favor. He has, you know, reassembled, redrafted an army back home, and now he's going for a push in between the natural and third base of Pattymac. Going to try to split up the two bases. There's no gateway here, so it's slow warp-ins to defend the third. Oh, an Archon goes down right away. Shields are gone off the Disruptor. Pattymac has to be very careful how he uses this. Drunkenboi is disengaging. 4 siege tanks are a little bit too much for the Protoss to engage into, and Pattymac eats 2 huge tank shots on his very vulnerable Stalkers. It's a lot of high temps morphing in, but they aren't Archons yet. Okay, the Archons are in on the tanks. They're dealing good splash damage, but there's not too much meat shield here for these very vulnerable Archons, very vulnerable Stalkers in Colossi. Disable dropped in one of the Colossi as well. One M canning shot goes out, but it does not connect. And a Manor Mule is dropped by Drunkenboi. GG is called. And Drunkenboi takes game number 1. In the top middle of Purity and Industry, as the blue Protoss is down a point, but not out. It's Pattymac. And on the right side, as the red Terran, it's Drunkenboi. Drunkenboi put on a very strong game number 1, ending it in Manor Mule fashion. Now, a little bit about the stakes. This is a best of 5, so there's an allowance for a variety of builds. Pattymac tried a Disruptor drop in game number 1. I don't know what he's going to do in game number 2. Okay, Stillfly letting us know map number 3 is going to be Eternal Empire, Everdream 4th, and Simulacrum 5th. Pattymac and Drunkenboi are competing for $20 put forward by the RnG Pro team. Probably specifically Stillfly, but I can't confirm that, so it's very generous prize pool. It's 2 players. Pattymac, I'm very surprised Pattymac didn't take another dive, on the SCV that's building the command center. He's going to regen some of those shields. Drunkenboi pulls a 3rd SCV to fight against the encroaching probe, and Pattymac can engage here. So Drunkenboi going to build his CC on location, unharassed, get the finish off, no real delay there. Pattymac chrono boosting out an Adept opener once again to defend against the oncoming Reaper. Wait, is there a Reaper? No! Drunkenboi's just opening Marine. Let me make absolutely sure. Yeah, he just SCV scouted here. Okay. Oh man, this is 3 racks. This is a heavy commitment from Drunkenboi straight into that bio, and it's most certainly just going to be a 3 barracks push. Twilight Robo coming out from Pattymac, so yeah, it's oh, I was just gonna say it was gonna be more standard, but that Twilight was a little bit suspiciously early, and we're gonna see a Dark Shrine out of our blue RnG Pro player. Drunkenboi is massing up his Marines. There's +1, and I fully expect a 2-base push as this +1 is finishing up. Drunkenboi is getting up missile turrets. He has scouted the Dark Shrine, so what's Pattymac gonna do? Cancel the Dark Shrine and go into Robo Bay. He's Chrono Boosting out a Warp Prism. Is this gonna be another Disruptor drop? A 4th barracks on the way for Drunkenboi. He's gearing up to slap the Protoss with a 2-base pressure. Drunken's sending out an SCV around the bottom left, making sure his opponent doesn't have base or anything, making sure he doesn't have Ninja Expands of any kind. Pattymac is kind of posturing for the normal 3rd base. Blink is coming out for him, and he's going to go into Colossi. The Warp Prism did pick up a Disruptor, and it's moving out for a drop, but he's going to need to defend against the oncoming Marines of Drunkenboi. That said, Drunkenboi left most of his forces home to defend. So while he is doing a 2-base pressure, he's not all-inning against the Protoss right now, even though +1 is already on the field. This is just like a tiny hit squad of Marines to pressure the 3rd, but there's so many soon-to-be Blink Stalkers on the map for Pattymac. I don't know how this is going to work out. Okay, the Stimmin. Drunkenboi does get the cancel. Screw my predictions. He's going to get the pylon as well. This will supply block Pattymac. Starport's on the way for Drunkenboi. This Disruptor hasn't really done anything yet. It's going in for the drop. Missile turret's out of position to intercept the Warp Prism. And there's no siege tank this time. Drunkenboi's like, oh god, no! Evac! Evac! Wait a minute. Okay, he's gonna bait the shot with the Marauders. 2 Marauders go down. That's a nice pick. There's only 2 Marines on the ground, so the Warp Prism's gonna be totally safe here. And I feel like Drunkenboi made a mistake not going cross-map with his units. He's already had 1 stim forced. Pattymac should know what Drunkenboi's up to, not seeing a 3rd base, and he's going to harass these guys with the Disruptor and probably force another stim to move out of the way of the next shot. He's got to pick his angle. Oh, okay, so he's going to hit as the Marines are going through the vision blocker choke point. Another Marauder goes down, so not as hype as I figured it would be. And Drunkenboi takes the gold in the bottom left corner. I dig that Colossus skin. Especially with, like, the lighting on this map. It looks really cool. Zelnaga is grabbed. Drunkenboi is moving his army around the left side to hit the 3rd base of Pattymac. He knows where Pattymac's army is positioned as well. He has 2 medevacs poised to drop in the main. The only result of that so far is 1 dead Marauder. It's enough Stalkers here, plus the Colossi to intercept. Pattymac also sees the Terran with this probe. Drunkenboi's like, shoot, gotta back off. An interesting chess match going on in Purity and Industry. And Drunkenboi lands on the island to heal up. Okay. Alright. You know, that's a That's... Oh no! Pattymac attacked his own Colossus! A-Quick feels bad. Drunken has a couple scouting marines out on the map, so he will see this incoming push. He moves out a 4th base. It's going to clear up the rock so he can get down the ramp. Efficiently, he's going to pick up the 4th base. He's going to lose that CC. Down it goes. He doesn't have a ton of SCVs down here, but the real income earners are going to be the mules on those high-yield mineral patches. Another Marauder gets picked off. Drunkenboi tries for a concave. Pattymac's going to block off the ramp. He decides to retreat here. He's going to leave a couple valuable units behind as he does so. Disruptor doesn't even fire a shot. The Warp Prism's a little bit overextended on the map as well. Pattymac has recalled home. I expect Drunkenboi to continue utilizing this bottom left corner base to the greatest extent he can. Pattymac is ahead 10 workers here, but those mules on the high-yield mineral patches are just going to be so valuable. Drunkenboi has quite the Viking squad patrolling in his main. Unfortunately, the Warp Prism took a different route than he was expecting. This drop will stop +2 from hitting the field. That's a pretty huge pick for Pattymac, even bigger than the 6 SCVs he cut down with these charge lots. He's going to take out another Scouting Marine as well. Eventually, it'll happen. Drunkenboi sees the 4th of the Protoss. Down goes the Marine. And Drunkenboi's kind of ceded map control here a little bit. Pattymac and Drunkenboi both move out to their vision blockers outside of, this base location. Drunkenboi is still cheekily mining on 4 bases. Pattymac is still up 8 workers, so both army supplies are going to be even. But +2 weapons are in the field for the Protoss as this engagement gears up. Drunkenboi's trying to buy time for +2 armor to hit the field. Still 13 seconds away. That was a pretty decent disruptor hit. About 3 Marines and 2 Marauders go down there. Viking... Oh, we have a pause.
Game resumed.
Okay, our engagement has geared up. These are decent disruptor shots from Pattymac, putting the work in, but not cataclysmic for the Terran. The Vikings are putting work in on the Colossi, and as Pattymac backs up farther and farther, his Archons and Stalkers aren't shooting these Vikings, so all but one of the Colossi are picked off. Pattymac will warp in here. He does have Defender's advantage. His reinforcements are going to get here first. A disruptor shot goes off, picks off some more bio, and Drunkenboi needs to retreat here. The army supplies are pretty even, but these Protoss units are going to trade better against the Terran when evenly matched. +1 armor is going to hit the field here soon for Pattymac. +2 weapons, still only halfway done for Drunkenboi. This golden base is such a scam, bro. Thanks to muling, these mineral patches are going to expire pretty soon. Resources lost is pretty even on both sides of the map. 9,100 versus 9,300. Pattymac is going for a 5th base. Drunkenboi should get the cancel if he scouts this. Actually, he's going to get the cancel before he scouts it. Pattymac going for a charge lot attack on the 4th base of Drunkenboi. Drunkenboi's going to pull his army home as he didn't leave anything back home to defend. Ghost Academy is finished up here for the Red Terran, but not researching upgrades or anything useful just yet. I don't think he researched. No, he hasn't researched any Ghost upgrades. DTs get a concave on some Errant Marine Marauder, forces stim as well. This is a nice bit of damage, but in the meantime, Drunkenboi picks off 12 probes with a drop off screen. It was kind of an even trade. Those DTs are pretty expensive for a Protoss player, but he did get a couple kills before they went down. Pattymac, despite losing those 12 probes, is still ahead in workers. However, remember, the Terran does have mules. DT is noticed and cut down. That did burn a mule for the Terran, though. Energy being used for a scan. Instead, a nice pick on some of the bio from Pattymac. He will take an army supply lead as these two engage. Drunkenboi is setting up a huge concave, but Pattymac catches a lot of the bio without medevacs, so they're going to be a lot weaker than were they being healed. Than if they were being healed is probably a better way to say that. 9 SCVs went down in the engagement as well, so Pattymac now heavily ahead in economy, even with mules. Pattymac also got Shadow Stride, also known as DT Blink, while that engagement was going on. He's going to continue splitting off DTs. They haven't been the most successful so far. Hi, Gildolin. How's it going, man? Stalker and Zealot got mixed in here as well somehow. Missile Turret will allow the bio. DT. Oh, I was gonna say clean it up quite quickly, but Shadow Stride will save it for now. It got 4 SCV kills. What a back and forth game. Neither player has really put the death blow on the other yet. It still could definitely go either way. Only a Viking going down to that shot. One Marine. Drunkenboi is splitting all over the place to make these disruptor shots a little bit less scary. Shadow Stride DTs are in the mix as well. Ooh, that was a huge disruptor shot. Pattymac is indisputably the winner of that engagement. It's 100 army supply to 72. And Protoss units are just so strong. I swear one of those DTs just said clever. I don't know if anyone can rewind and make sure I'm not, like, hallucinating. Dank disruptor hits, and just like that, Pattymac is going to take out the 5th base of Drunkenboi. Ooh, one disruptor goes down before another devastating shot is able to connect. A lot of these mules are going to go to a little bit of a waste. Another disruptor gun down before the shot can go off. Drunkenboi's using the mules to hold position and zone out the Protoss army as best he can. The boys are drafted into the military. Pattymac sends out shot after shot! That's like a significant chunk. That was like a quarter of the remaining standing army for Drunkenboi, and unfortunately a lot of the remaining army is in medevacs. GG! We have a series on our... In the top right corner of Eternal Empire, as the blue Protoss, is Pattymac. And in the bottom left, as the red Terran, it's Drunkenboi. Score is 1-1 in the best of 5. These two are seeming pretty evenly matched. That wasn't... it definitely wasn't a build order win for Pattymac, you know what I'm saying? Drunkenboi was able to get a cheeky bottom left corner gold base, heal that up. Pattymac was able to get off some great disruptor shots. He was also able to catch Drunkenboi's bio out on the map. Drunkenboi kept trying to set up these huge flanks, but he didn't bring medevacs with his flanking bio units. He kept like his huge cloud of medevacs all over his main army, which made the flanking units very soft, and Pattymac just kept diving in on those flanking units, taking them down, and Pattymac was left with only 2/3 of his army again and again and again. He still traded well, but just not well enough. Pattymac gained a little bit of a supply lead, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, until eventually Drunkenboi had to GG. Look, man, when you have 30 army supply and 20 of it's in medevacs, it's not going to be able to take down Protoss Deathball. Pattymac gets about a 4-second delay on CC of Drunkenboi. Drunkenboi is going for the cheeky bunker behind the mineral line that Clem has shown the way for many Terrans. He's about to lose the SCV. So the bunker is not going to be too useful. There's the cancel. Pattymac will have the Adept out in time to meet the Reaper. Grabs the second Chrono Boost. He's going to get out that Stalker. 2 shots go off on the Reaper. It's pretty big. It's going to have to back out and heal for a while. Yeah, Drunkenboi wants to get that Reaper out of there, or Pattymac runs it down. Pattymac stops the bunker from being built for a little while. He picks off a mule, and this Adept gets out as well. That's huge. That's absolutely massive play from Pattymac. Drunkenboi seems to be a little bit off his rhythm from the previous map, to be honest. This doesn't... It looks like he's playing like maybe 5% less strong than we saw in game number 1, where he absolutely dumpstered Pattymac. He will get the Reaper in. He does get a full scout on the tech that's going on for Pattymac. Losing the Reaper at a respectable 355 is pretty decent for the Terran. Drunkenboi getting a supply depot to limit surface area? How about surface area on the bunker in case some charge lots come in. Widow Mine in a cheeky location at the dip in the ramp. An observer will see that Widow Mine. So Pattymac should be able to use that knowledge if he chooses to attack, but this time he's going for a Twilight Council and a Forge, so I think we're just going to see a third base. There's not going to be any kind of 2-base aggression. We're not going to see DTs, anything like that. We're going to see +1 and probably Blink or Charge out of the Twilight Council. In fact, there is Charge now. There's the Forge finishing up. Wait a minute, that's 6 gateways, okay. That's 7 gateways. Maybe we are going to see a 2-base. That's 8 gateways. We are going to see almost for certain a 2-base pressure. Okay, alright, I stand corrected. Drunkenboi. Going for a 3rd CC. Pattymac drops the 3rd Nexus, gets a pylon here. A little bit about this pylon to fill time. Look, I'm gonna be brutally honest. It can see incoming drops for the Protoss, so it's not just like placed there for no reason. You can see all the way back to the edge of the map. Any medevac trying to go into the main will be scouted a little bit early for Pattymac. By him precious seconds to respond. He gets a full scout of the Terran base in composition with his hallucinated Phoenix. He knows this Marine tank. Pattymac did take a third here. Charge is about to hit the field. +1 is on the way. There is a Warp Prism coming out, so I do think he's still going to attack. As a matter of fact, there, he moves out now. Widowmine tries to defend the Xel'Naga, cut down by the might of the Protoss Death Ball. Drunkenboi has preemptively pulled back his third CC, but Pattymac's going home. A second Forge going down for Pattymac. Drunkenboi has 1-1 about to finish, Stim about to finish as well. And I really expected Pattymac to go for a 2-base heavy attack, but there's some mind games going on between these two players. It seems like these guys are playing the player rather than the matchup, honestly. Just subtle shadings of, you know, something being a little bit off here or there when the opponent scouts something, or a fake 2-base attack that's really expansion. Drunkenboi's getting up in Armory. Marauder's still about to hit the field for him as well. Blink halfway done for the Protoss. Armor started up, +2 weapons are about halfway done. So they will be a factor in any coming engagement by the time either player walks across the map. Pattymac, though, content to throw down a 4th base. No 4th base yet for Drunkenboi. He's going to EMP upgrade as well as pumping out Ghosts. And we're going to see a maxed out Terran hit a maxed out Protoss. Drunkenboi stims back, and that's because Pattymac has gotten his Warp Prism in once again, despite the Viking patrolling outside the natural. Drunkenboi gets some charge lots in. He's only going to take out 2 SCVs. Oh god, right into the missile turrets! Down goes the Warp Prism. Pattymac's being super careful about how he engages. He can't engage if he takes shots from the Widowmines. I mean, this army can definitely clean up this bio, but he's gonna cede the 4th CC. Only 2 probes went down, and then assault. Sell it. Run by. Gets a cancel on the CC. I think that's worth it for Pattymac. A lone Rambo Marine fires shots at Pattymac's 4th. The Widow Mines are all gone from this army, but now they have Ghosts to help out. Drop some EMP on the Protoss. Pattymac's getting out more Disruptors. His 4th will be cancelled again. Oh no! Drunkenboi's playing it really safe, even though Pattymac wasn't really responding to this. And Pattymac's going to cancel the 4th anyway, so it worked out for Drunkenboi there. In the meantime, Drunkenboi has thrown down 2 more command centers. Pattymac's a little bit supply blocked from a few pylons being gunned down. Drunkenboi's going for a double drop in the natural of Pattymac. Pattymac has caught Drunkenboi out. He's going to trade very well against the main forces of the Terran, but in the meantime, he's lost 7 probes, and he is going to lose the Nexus. +3 is under threat as well. These Zealots aren't enough to defend here. If Drunkenboi goes in and cancels +3, that could be absolutely massive. He's going to target down the Forge. In the meantime, Drunkenboi is going for a Doom Drop in the main with the remains of his main force, and he does get the cancel on +3. Pattymac is rushing to respond. We could see a recall to the main. Actually, he has some Stalkers here to buy time. So the rest of the Stalkers blink up the ramp. They're taking down all the medevacs, so the bio going to struggle to retreat. They pick up and save what they can, leaving behind a couple Marines to pull down the retreat. He drops again at the 3rd. He's going to get cleaned up by Blink Stalkers. Finally, the drop in the natural goes down, but not before killing all the pylons. The Nexus, 7 probes, canceling +3 and taking down both the forges. Pattymac did take the better military trades, though, so he's going to be ahead in army supply. Drunkenboi, however, has a huge economic lead, and Pattymac has to do something about it. He did reestablish his 4th base at the high-yield gas location. Drunkenboi has 2 free Liberators out on the field, but they are the only anchors against this push. He does have a planetary at the 4th, so Pattymac can't engage there, but the supply depot wall's down. Charge lots get in on the 1st tank, and that's like 20% of all the anchors that Drunkenboi has with this army gone. All the Liberators are shredded as well. Pattymac storms on the bio. There's nothing left here militarily for Drunkenboi. Both tanks have gone down in the background. Reinforcements are rushing to the front. Pattymac decides to back off. He shreds a bunch of supply depots, but Drunkenboi has enough extra that that's not going to cut into his supply cap at all. And despite what looked like a great engagement for Pattymac, Drunkenboi holds on quite well. However, Pattymac definitely has the higher value army on the field. The medevacs are just floating bricks at this point. They're going to load up and reposition the army. Actually, they just pick things up and they put them down. But they are totally out of energy, so they're floating bricks in the sky for this coming engagement. Liberators set up freedom zones, but not against the primary target of Pattymac. Oh, there was a tremendous disruptor hit for the blue Protoss. He's still up in army supply. He's gained a slight worker lead, but Terran's still ahead thanks to that wonderful, wonderful call-down ability. A concave of Liberators assaults the Protoss army as they move up the ramp. But the Liberators are picked off, and this bio is pretty much permanently injured. There's just no medevac energy left. Drunkenboi has a weakened 66 army supply on the field. 1 CC is on fire. It will go down almost certainly. Chad Stalker Shot takes it off. This planetary is totally isolated. Those 3 medevacs aren't going to do anything to help it. These SCVs will do a lot to help it. Oh! That was a major disruptor shot, picking up 20 SCVs. That's the entire meat shield for Drunkenboi. The planetary... Oh my god, that's all the bio. All the bio's gone. It's evaporated. It's deleted. Pattymac backs out. The Liberators are going to zone out the Protoss, but Drunkenboi has held at what cost? He has barely anything left. 61 army supply to 94. And not a strong 64 army supply either. Drunkenboi is up against the ropes. 73 probes to 30 SCVs. Pattymac takes a 6th base. His main is mined out, so that's effectively like 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 4.5 mining bases once that's taken against the 4 bases of the Terran, most of which aren't even fully saturated. Pattymac is just taking his time. He's continuing to max out. He threw down a Dark Shrine while all the action was happening. He's going to get Shadow Stride as well. A bunch of DTs warp onto the map, and they are going to try and finish off this planetary. There is a missile turret here, so they will be tanking shots as they do so. With all these mules expiring, there aren't that many SCVs to repair it, and they haven't bothered to repair so far because Drunkenboi is so hurt for economy. Pattymac's main force distracts the bio. There's so many disruptors. Drunkenboi needs to be careful. The DTs blink in. They finish off the planetary. Drunkenboi is down to 3 bases. Only one of them is full, and those mineral patches are dwindling. He's going to be forced to mule at that location, which is going to hurt him even more in the long run. Drunkenboi needs to figure out a plan and figure it out quickly. He's not too... Well, I mean, he's pretty far down in army supply, but that's only going to get worse as the game goes on. There's a lot of medevacs here generating energy. So Oh! Well, that was a major storm. That's a lot of dead Terrans. Drunkenboi engages at the top of a ramp. He sets up a liberation zone, but that Liberator... Okay, the Liberator survives, actually. 24 more SCVs go down. These DTs causing the real damage, and the final mining base is lifted for Drunkenboi. GG. In the bottom left of Everdream, he's a single game away, taking the best of 5 in that $20 prize pool. It's the Blue Protoss, Pattymac. And in the top right corner, as the Red Terran, he's proven a fierce competitor so far. It's Drunkenboi. Pattymac's up 2-1. Will we see something cheeky here from Pattymac? He has a game to play around with. Drunkenboi is down but not out. His back's against the ropes. Will we see something panicky, a little bit crazy from him? I don't know. Seeing mind games have been real between these two players so far. Very subtle, but also very real. Pattymac canceling a Dark Shrine on Purity and Industry. Drunkenboi grabbing the gold on Purity and Industry as well. Pattymac with a fake 2-base aggression on Eternal Empire. Pattymac gets his Nexus down on time. It's going for block on the CC. 370, 375, 400. CC has been delayed, but only by 2 seconds. Probe's a little bit too damaged to engage there. Drunkenboi is going to send all his SCVs back to mine. Drop a factory. Drunkenboi grabs a second gas. We haven't actually seen him Widowmine drop or Hellion drop yet in the series. It looked like he was going to, but he lost the first Widowmine in game number 1, so that kind of thwarted any chance of Widowmine drop if you're already down a mine, especially if it's like a 2 Widowmine drop. Chad Adept shades in, gets an SCV kill. She'll shade out. No, the Reaper's trapped. It goes down. Drunkenboi did see the robotics facility. Pattymac is going for a Twilight Council and a Forge, so he's going to take a third base quite soon, I think. Drunkenboi is going for a Marine push. Unfortunately, the Observer has scouted everything that's going on. It deploys just to make certain. A couple Hellions are joining the mix as well. Pattymac is patrolling Stalkers at the front. He's going to get a shield battery, and I think he has this held. Yeah, 4 Stalkers and a shield battery are going to be a bit hard to break for Drunkenboi. Does not have stim either, but he's not going for the natural. He's going for the main, so the shield battery won't be any help. Pattymac's onto it. He guns down the Marines. Oh, he loses a sentry, which kind of sucks. He's going after the Hellions rather than the Marines. Only 2 probes go down to this attack, as well as, like, 3 Stalkers. And I don't think that's value for Drunkenboi. He was banking a lot on this. Pattymac is now ahead 5 workers. He did get a scout of the Protoss base, though, which is a little bit valuable. Saw that Forge, saw that Twilight Council. Pattymac knows he's safe to throw down that third now, though. The Terrans not going to have enough forces rallied for further aggression for quite some time. Drunkenboi is committing to bioplay, as is standard in the matchup. Gets a tech lab on the barracks. Reactor on the starport. And he's going to throw down another tech lab on the factory. Stim and combat shields are on the way. So probably like a 7.5 minute to 8 minute timing against the Protoss third in the works for Drunkenboi. So he gets up his third CC. Pattymac in the time is getting up charge, getting up +1, Templar Archives. You saw how effective Storm was against Drunkenboi in the previous game. Pattymac always seemed to storm when Drunkenboi's attention was elsewhere. He did a really great job of splitting off charge lots, splitting off especially those blink DTs. Those blink DT plays, huge, taking out Drunkenboi's 2 remaining mining bases and forcing the surrender of the Eternal Empire. Drunkenboi moves out his third CC. There it is. Oh, a huge feedback on the Raven. It's gonna get half the health and make it like a floating piece of bread. It's gonna do nothing except absorb a little bit of damage in this engagement, and Drunkenboi is on full retreat back to his third base. Drunkenboi is trying to stutter step here a little bit, but there's too many charge lots. These charge lots on their own can kill everything here. And that's not all Pattymac has. He has these Archons backing it up. He has these Stalkers out. He's going for more charge lots, but Drunkenboi makes it back to the Widow Mines, and those shots will clean everything up for Pattymac. Almost every charge lot goes down. A fresh Warpin is going to provide further meat shields for the Protoss War Machine, but God, those Widow Mines single-handedly saved Drunkenboi from losing this match. Let's check the kills. Oh, where do you put the Widow Mines? I don't know which ones were there. Okay, 3 kills, 1 kill, 3 kills. They each did their share. Drunkenboi is going for a biomine push this time. Pattymac is going to pull ahead in army supply, but a lot of that's tied up in 2 Colossi that are on their way. +2 has hit for the Protoss, though. Oh no. Pattymac gets into the Terran main. He's not doing too much damage, though. There's still 3 Widow Mines without their shots going off, so Pattymac was a little bit wise not to engage there. Auto turret takes off a couple probes in the main. I don't know that that was the best use of the Raven energy, but hey, it's damage. 6 SCVs and a refinery are the only damage Drunkenboi took from that charge lot warping. Drunkenboi left all his Widow Mines over here. Pattymac is still on 3 base though, so these guys are pretty economically squared up, with slight advantage to Pattymac, despite Pattymac losing his 3rd base. And Drunkenboi doesn't have his Widow Mines with him, so this bio is going to take some losses as they retreat. More Widow Mines move to the top of the ramp. Pattymac isn't going to get overeager. He's going to get hit with the tank shot and back out, I guarantee it. No, he's engaging. No. He gets the tank, but the bio is going to flank from the side. The boys are pulled to help meat shield for the bio. It's not going to be enough. 21 SCVs get picked off. The remaining bio is in tatters. Only 2 medevacs in the air. Drunkenboi is trying to bait the Protoss into the Widow Mines. A brave Zealot eats one of the Widow Mine shots, but another Widow Mine is off cooldown, and a lot of Drunkenboi's army supply is in these Widow Mines that he totally forgot about, I think. This is a nice move here. Pattymac warping in just 2 Zealots to handle this, absorb the auto turret shots so they don't take out the probes. Oh, the Widow Mines try to reposition to the 3rd, but Pattymac's on top of it. They all get shredded. 1 Widow Mine makes it to the natural. It's going to get 2 probe kills. And this Disruptor will probably send out a shot to clean it up. Oh, no, he's just going to warp in his Zealot, actually. Down it goes. Drunkenboi's got to figure out what to do. He is extremely behind in economy. Behind in army supply. Behind in upgrades. Blink is going to hit the field for the Protoss. Armor is going to hit the field for the Protoss. And Drunkenboi has to invest in military. Has to rally a defense. And that means no investment in upgrades. This Widow Mine's seen a lot. He's seen 6 of his friends die. But he's going to bravely continue the fight. Aw. Rip. Cursed Widow Mine attack group. No one made it home alive. Pattymac has a terrifying army. It's going to come down to the Widow Mine shots. The first Widow Mine has fallen. And those were great Widow Mine shots, actually. A lot of the charge lots go down. Drunkenboi is only 13 army supply down, but this is a very high value army from the Protoss. All the Widow Mines get cleaned up. Drunkenboi is defending as best he can. He does have a concave. He's going to stim in from multiple angles. There's so much here from Pattymac. Disruptor shot takes off. Marauder, Colossi are pumping out damage. All the disruptors go down for Pattymac. A little bit of a miscontrol there. The stalkers are melting. There's no charge lots to defend for them. The Colossi get picked off as well, but Drunkenboi just doesn't have anything left. A lot of his army supply is tied into these medevacs. GG. Well played is called, and Pattymac takes the series 3-1. He's going to take home that $20 prize pool as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Renegade. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Please drop a follow if you did. It lets me know that you guys want to see me keep producing content and continue fast. So, for now, I'm out. I'll probably be back for some ladder later tonight. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Born from the ashes, 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 born from the